More fun than Christy Gnome's husband with big fake tits. This is Total Babble.
These fun bags were pretty fun.
This is Total Babble. Total Babble. It's a show about music, pop culture, social media, movies, the internet, relationships, TV, whatever. Total Babble. The Total Babble Podcast.
There's only so much fun you can have with the lopsided gnome titties.
I almost missed that last night. By the time you hear this, it's going to be a week later because we're taping ahead of it. Everything's out of order, but it doesn't matter. We can always talk about whatever. But I almost missed the Brian Gnome bimbofication thing. I kept seeing that picture and I'm like, what is that about? And then what is bimbofication? And this is a thing that he was into, which normally I wouldn't care. Who cares? Be into what you're into. But the fact that he was married to such an asshole and they're good religious people, that's what makes it worth talking about. That's what makes it satisfying.
I'm still a little bit lost on the whole bimbofication or whatever it is. I thought that, and again, this is maybe my own biases or just the limitation in my understanding of the world of kink, but I thought the whole scene was women getting massive boobs and just Barbieing themselves to death. But allegedly, he was doing that and wearing big fake boobs for women.
Yeah, I don't think you even need to get into genders with all of it. I think you just get the biggest, fakest balloon tits you can, and you do the gender of a woman, be you male or female, if I'm interpreting correctly. And you just do whatever you want as long as it includes, I guess, a big blonde wig and big balloon tits. That's my understanding. I could be wrong. I'm not part of the bimbofication world. I don't know if you're aware. And maybe you go through life and you go, oh, Stu, he's probably part of that whole world. I'm not.
No, you're not?
Yeah.
More of a furry kind of guy?
Oh, furry. With the accent, I thought you said fairy. I was like, no, I'm not opposed. I'm just not into it. No, the furries are weirder, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Could
are.
there be furry bimbofication?
Wow. Furry
Creatures with big fake balloon tits. Could that be a thing?
Talk about stuff that I'm not comfortable Googling.
Yeah.
Put that at the top of the list.
I have your kids do the research.
Perfect. Much better. I'm currently obsessed with pony play. Not me personally, but I'm obsessed with the people who
Good
are
that you
obsessed
clarified that.
with pony play.
Yeah.
It is like a car accident that I can't look away from.
I've been watching. Weird.
It's so weird. I've been watching interviews with people. I also am really appreciating the craftsmanship behind the good costumes. These people must be quite wealthy. That's the thing about deep kink. That shit looks expensive.
Yeah, like you're so committed to it and it's got to be so expensive. Same thing goes with the cosplayers. Those cosplayer people, they've got to be investing so much in that.
Right. I would like to separate cosplayers from the sexual fetish community, though. I feel like conflating those two could ruffle some feathers.
I am with you depending on the girl. Some of those girls, they're pretty much putting it out there. So, yeah. Depends.
I mean, the ones who are dressed up as like Tekken characters and stuff. Yeah. I mean, who started it? Was it the game designer or was it them? It was just like a circle. Anyone who's coming up as Chun-Li is dressing pretty sexy.
The way you said Chun there was pretty aggressive and tawdry. Chun-Li. Oh.
Chun-Li.
Look at that Chun-Li.
Not intentional. Just mispronunciation, I'm sure.
Yeah, chicken or the egg on that one. So let me ruin your day here to start off the show. The darkness has returned to the show. Oh, welcome the darkness. No. Hopefully the darkness will come and then leave. It is an entity within the show. I think it was last show. Remember, we talked about Blondie the bear in Monrovia that they killed for existing in their community and then took her cub and relocated it.
Yeah, but they killed the cub too? Is this what?
No, not even that. They took the cub and put it out in the forest. But there was a news report the other night that now there is a new male bear and cub in the area looking around under the house, trying to find where Blondie is in the exact spot that she was. It's obviously her husband and other child out looking for her. Way to go, world. We suck.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
I didn't know that male bears stayed with the female bears and the cubs. I thought they hit it and quit it.
Maybe they don't, but maybe he said, hey, where's Blondie? And then maybe he went and looked. That's all I can garner from it. And I don't even know that he was looking for her. It just seems like an odd coincidence that a male bear and a cub were looking in the exact spot she was living. Hey, where's Mom?
Yeah, that's sad.
All right. Yes, a couple seconds. Wait for the darkness to leave. Goodbye,
and
darkness.
Stay out. Slam the door behind it, Stu.
Hello, darkness, mild friend. It's time for you to leave again. Okay. No King's Day was last week, and it was huge. We predicted it would be huge, jokingly, and I'll give you one guess as to what may have happened at my event.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. I don't know.
You have an idea, maybe. It seems like, other that or you're...
All right. It has the familiar scent of a public altercation.
It kind of does. It was a very peaceful protest. A lot of people, like 6,000 or 3,000, I don't know, Bit Killer Debbie looked it up. There were a lot of thousands of people, and everybody was great except for the asshole security guard that walks around. He was again present, and yes, I kind of instigated with him.
Hold on. Is this show law? We have to go back in the fucking Scooby-Doo time machine.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who've just joined us and don't know all of the show lore, Stu has a regular place where he likes to protest, and there's a parking lot that he frequents near his favorite protest location.
Yeah.
And he has beef with the rent-a-cop who patrols the parking lot.
You called him a rent-a-cop. That was uncalled for.
Hey, I'm just reading the news, okay?
Yeah.
That's part of show lore as well, because you started in on him for being a rent-a-cop way back then. My only question is, when you were driving there, were you like, I hope that prick's working. I'm going to go and park in his parking lot again, and I hope he says something.
It was not a hope, but as we got there, I forgot about it until we got there. And then I said to Bit Killer Debbie, I said, gee, I wonder if that same asshole security guy is going to be working. And it turns out he was.
Oh, my God.
And
okay, tell me what happened. Did you start this? Did you seek him out or did he find you? What happened? How did this happen and what happened?
The answer is yes. All things happened. He was out in this retirement community. I don't go there because I'm old. I go there because it's the nearest community
to pick up
where they're having a protest.
Sex. Oh, no. Sorry. Okay.
He was out telling all the old people that they couldn't stand in this 10-foot square place on this patio where it was nice and there was plenty of opportunity for them to stand. He was telling them that they all needed to move to the side of the building, and he didn't say it this way, but kind of cram into each other and be uncomfortable on the side of the building. There was no reason that I could tell for him saying, no, you can't stand here. You've got to be over here, and I'm going to keep moving you over there. And he kept telling people in his very respect my authority way that this is private property. We're asking you nicely to move over there. To which then I decided to instigate and walked up and said, you don't really have to listen to anything he says. He's a rent-a-cop and he's on a big power trip and he does this. I've hung out with him before. You and I know each other, don't we? And he looked at me and he said, yes. And we got into it over and over again. And he said, you know, we're letting you park here. We're just asking that people move around to the side of the building. And I said, oh, you're letting us park here. I said, no, last time you didn't want us to park here because you're wanting customers to park here. And we are customers, but you're letting us park here because you can't control it. I invited you so many times to call a cop and have me towed last time, and you're letting us park here because you can't control it. I said, what difference does it mean if they're going to stand here or if they're going to stand over here? There's no reason for that. And to ask so many thousands of people to not stand there and crowd over into this little place. I said, that's ridiculous. And then we exchanged fuck yous back and forth. And I went into the Firehouse Subs place and I said, hey, just wanted to check. If I'm standing right there, not even in your patio, your eating area, do you have a problem with that? And the guy behind the counter was like, I don't know, man. I said, well, your security guy does. And he said, yeah, he doesn't work for us. He works for the center. I said, okay, but you yourself, you don't have a problem. He said, no. So then he told me to move, and I told him I wasn't going to move and nobody needed to move. And I told him to please call a cop. I'd love to see a cop come scurry away thousands of old people. That would be great for their business. And he said, okay, I'll call a cop. I'll call a cop. And a sheriff guy showed up and looked at him and was very confused. Oh, and by the way, I told him a cop is going to laugh at you. The sheriff guy showed up, looked at him, kind of looked confused, and then went to the old people that were standing on the edge of the patio and asked them, hey, would you mind moving? He had very much a, I'm sorry to ask you this kind of thing. So the old people went, okay. For whatever reason, cop didn't say a word to me. I was still standing in my same place. Cop left, and then all the old people walked back out onto the patio and were as they were. I watched the security guy follow the cop out to the parking lot, talk to him as he was on his motorcycle, kind of going like, and the cop just kind of shrugged, shook his head, said, I think he said, I don't know, and then took off on his motorcycle. It was as if I predicted the whole thing. The cop laughed at him. Fuck you. You're the man.
Are there, on this patio area, are there doors into businesses?
Around it, and there were people patronizing those businesses.
Yeah.
They were getting business from it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I know
it was just that he decided, or maybe he was told that somebody shouldn't be standing there and he doesn't have the mental fortitude to decide that that doesn't work and it's not going to be effective and he's just going to be in the right, like I get sometimes.
Or he doesn't understand the context for it. I think that if he was able to explain to people that fire regulations dictate that you can't have a whole crowd of people outside the doors in case of an emergency, and if people need to leave, then that would be an entirely different thing.
Valid. I don't think that was it because it was, I think, far enough away from the door. There was the door, there was a patio area where people were eating, where people weren't crowding, and then it was further out. So it was just like, he just got in his own Cartman, respect my authority bullshit head, and that's where he was with it. And it was just like, okay, this is going to be my new friend, and I've decided that I didn't handle it well. I'll admit that. The way I should handle it is every time I see him from now on, I need to get him on the show, whether it's on the phone or interviewing him or having him come in the studio. I need to get him on the show, and this can be a quest, and we can work it out and work out our differences here in a friendly way.
I think you should start by trying to give him one of your sandwiches.
So you're saying go in with the forethought and have sandwiches ready and go, hey, understand you. We've had bad times. Here's a sandwich. Why don't you come on my show and talk about it?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Me and my co-host Emily would love to talk to you. She'll love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I bet he's like a reasonable guy. It's so funny. People get given instructions to do stuff and they don't want to be doing their job, right? But then they just have to do it. Like,
I understand that, and I've considered that, but it is just the way he gets locked in and won't be a real human about it. I think if I said, hey, our show that we do, it's very open and we're open to new ideas. Why don't you come on and talk about it? I feel like maybe he would be there for us.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, if he has the time, sounds like he's super busy.
He has got to guard the pavement. And when you're busy guarding the pavement, it's a whole thing, and you've got to be very focused.
I am obsessed with this whole thing now because I'm trying to think of why it would be that way. And my brain is asking all sorts of questions like, is the patio concrete or is it timber?
It's concrete, and it's literally about 10 to 15 square feet that he was shooing people out of and said, go stand on the side of the building over there.
Is it visible? Is it visible to the street?
Yeah.
It's probably in the same way that they probably ask the homeless people to go around the back. They probably didn't want all of that in the, on the off chance that it would drive customers away.
Right.
Or because some people might have been driving past and thought, oh, maybe they are protesting our establishment versus the government or something
Maybe
like that.
that was the original decree brought down to him, and that's what he was reacting off it, not realizing that the thousands and thousands of other people made it so that that didn't matter. That could be.
Yeah. And so this is the danger, I think, for anyone. And I know we're talking about this guy. Wow, a book just fell over here. Sorry. Where if you just blindly follow orders, especially if you're called to, say, lead a group, right, and you don't understand the context for it, you don't understand the reason behind it, you can never be expected to drive the outcomes, because people don't just follow things blindly. But if they're given a reason and it feels valid, they're more likely to comply, even if you make that reason up.
Well, in either way, he strikes me as not one of those thinkers. He's not one of those people at all. So, yeah.
I think you've cracked the case on why he's working as a mall cop.
And there is part of me that says, wow, this guy's got a shit job and I should be understanding of that. But also, he's such an asshole. So I try to weigh those,
I think you've also found the magical Venn diagram of what makes a great rent-a-cop. And on one hand, you have just low IQ and education. And on the other side, it's high conflict, high aggression, and right in the middle.
I think you're right. But now that you've said that, he's going to hear that and never come on the show. We're never going to get Bobby now. I've named him Bobby.
Yeah, I'm the problem here. I'm glad we've sorted that out.
Yeah, well, God damn it, Emily.
Okay, something just fell over in my studio.
It sounded like a big pillar.
This.
I've heard of Rockin' Taco. It's like a chain or something.
It is a chain.
Okay.
And it is a coupon for a free homemade salsa trio and chips at the Rockin' Taco. But this bothers me.
Because
is it really homemade if it's made at a restaurant?
That's a chain, isn't it?
It is a chain.
Okay. I thought it was. And can you say homemade at a chain?
Can you say homemade at a restaurant, full stop?
Yeah.
One, food service laws do not allow you to be making this salsa trio in Nonna's kitchen. Like, I can't make homemade salsa trio in my kitchen and take it to the Rocking Taco and sell it against the law. So it's actually restaurant-made salsa trio. And I know that doesn't sound as good, but what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think you're not considering the fact that people might be making stuff at home and then bringing it into the restaurant to sell.
I'd be very surprised.
I mean, if we take them at their word.
And we take it in and say, show me the person who made this salsa trio at their home, maybe they'll be able to produce someone.
And also just the concept of the way that card is worded, salsa trio, being from California is completely fake. And I see that and I go, that is fake Mexican food right there. There would never be a Mexican restaurant legitimate that would describe something as salsa trio and have it worded that way. You get the good, authentic stuff. And that's not it. Not that it is bad. Maybe that's good food. I'm just saying that's not authentic handmade.
No. I mean, I'm sure somebody who has hands made it.
Right.
But I don't know if...
It could be a robot too.
It could also be a robot, but homemade really gets me because I don't want it to be homemade. That's why I'm going to a restaurant. You make it. I get homemade food at my home.
I think what they're implying, and it may not even be true, but I think they're saying that maybe they make the stuff there at the restaurant. And that is almost never the case nowadays. It's all canned and imported, and maybe they started saying homemade a long time ago, and maybe they're full of shit. I think you should investigate. What you do is you get a job there at the restaurant, and you do a secret investigation as to whether it's homemade. It's like a news report.
It's certainly something that I could consider.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of places near us that do what they refer to as scratch kitchen.
Is that like the pop-ups where they just have a kitchen within another kitchen and then they deliver it only? No, that's ghost kitchen.
That's a ghost kitchen. Yeah. Scratch Kitchen is where they make everything from scratch there.
I don't trust it.
They make all of their salad dressings, all of their sauces, everything from ingredients only. They don't bring anything in.
Gas moment. And that means that, yawn, she's got a yawn. And that means that basically they can charge an extra $10 per meal for it.
I don't know, maybe.
That's what I've noticed. Real restaurants are charging more and more, they say, because they need to, and I feel like they're going to lose their ass. And I pray for the failure daily of McDonald's, because they still have that same terrible advertising with the old guy voicing it, and it's still the same crap food. And, if you want to take a step forward, McDonald's, you go back to breakfast anytime. That's one of the only foods I would ever eat with you people is the breakfast. But you screwed us on that a long time ago, so, yeah.
I have not been to McDonald's in more years than I can count. Not even for a McShit on a road trip. Haven't gone. Don't do it. But I've been tempted lately. Have you heard about their new menu item?
I don't think. Oh, the thing with the CEO. Yeah.
Oh, I mean.
That guy.
Sure,
what a
that,
stiff.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
No. That product. Oh, this big
But it's
product.
a good product. It's very tasty and very McDonald's.
That product has not
Jesus
spurred
Christ.
me to action.
Yeah.
The one that I saw online, not but yesterday, had me thinking, they know me. I feel seen.
Oh, no. This sounds so just against everything I like.
It's a coffee and a Red Bull. So you drive through and they give you a coffee from the McCafe and a Red Bull for later. It's the ADHD starter pack.
Wow. That is genius marketing. I would love to be in the boardroom when they had meetings about that and be the guy to bring that up and just see how everybody's so desperately grasping for success and grasping for their jobs went, oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. It's a double caffeine showstopper. They should call it the heart stopper.
You need to decrease your prices. You need to get rid of the old guy doing your spots that goes, da, 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 da. He sounds like he's 80 years old. He appeals to no one. And then, decrease your price and bring back breakfast. I think that'll do it.
I don't know how much McDonald's food is.
For a while, they were going with the COVID excuse, and for like a sandwich, fries, and a drink, it was easily $15, $16. There are some markets where they were pricing a Big Mac on its own at $16, and people got fucking pissed, and that's why they're losing their ass right now, because they got greedy. It's not good food. You don't have to charge that much.
That's insane. So we have near our house, and actually something exciting happened in our family yesterday, and I'll tell you all about it. But the celebratory dinner that was selected by the recipient of the honor in our family chose a local burger joint. It's actually owned by one of our neighbors, and it's just up the street. Yeah. They now have multiple locations, but the OG one is near our house. And they're all just great burgers. You can see through the back, made on the grill, and you get to customize every burger. Like you stand there and you say exactly everything that you want, from bread to bits to sauce. And so that's what we did. And we don't get fries or anything when we go and get like the burgers or the sandwiches or whatever it is. But it is so good. And those run at between $6 and $8 a sandwich.
See, that's reasonable. That's great.
Yeah. My eldest son got the double patty one, and that's the more expensive one, but they're amazing.
That's kind of like what In-N-Out is out here. And I've noticed when I go Mexican, which I do, any bean and cheese burrito on its own is $9 to $12. And that's too much money for a bean and cheese
burrito.
A lot. It just is. And being that you know this guy that runs this chain, I have a suggestion. And this is as a non-meat eater. I don't know if they have a veggie burger or not.
They do.
Okay. I would go veggie burger, and even better than fries, you know what you go with? You know what they could have as a menu option?
Joy.
Joy is built in. Well, the joy is built in. That's the advertising campaign. But tater tots. Tater tots are always a better option, especially if they use my scale. Remember how I want to have the number scale for the darkness of your potatoes? I've never gotten French fries or tater tots that were overcooked and said, oh, geez, these were overcooked. You need to make them at a level 4 so they're crispy and brown, not this 2 or 3 bullshit where they're soggy and terrible like all restaurants do.
No one likes it.
You say proudly, we cook our tater tots at a level 4. Oh, so much business.
Nobody likes a limp chip
That's
or
right.
a limp fry, as it would be. Okay.
Yep.
I've got some important information for you.
All righty.
Do you know what we call tater tots in Australia?
Kibbley bits? That'd be my guess.
Close.
Makes sense.
Potato gems.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So we've got 2 burger joints
Yeah.
right near our house, and this is really important. The place we went last night has fries and onion rings. They can't serve potato gems because the other place does. The other place is known for their tater tots. So they're not serving each other's menu items. But the other place is sort of that really old school, really greasy burger. You know the one I'm talking about. It's like a sponge soaked in oil with like drippy cheese.
Yeah.
Lots of
Not
people
good,
like
but
it.
it does hold a certain place in some people's hearts. That's what they know. And
That's
yeah, I'm
right.
with you. Yeah.
It's nostalgic for some people. I've never really gotten into it. One of my sons and my husband like it. I cannot stomach it. I much prefer to go to the burger place we went to last night as a celebratory dinner. It was delicious.
When
Go
you
burgers.
eat something like that, you know you're not going to feel good to begin with. So when it's extra greasy and terrible, it really sits with you. So
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
correct.
But the great thing about the place we went last night is you don't feel bad after you eat it. So all the lettuce is always crisp. The tomato is always new. Everything tastes like you could have made it at home, but like 10 times better.
That says a lot nowadays. Like when I go out, I had Chinese for the first time in years the other day, and I was like, okay, this is good. And wow, I don't feel terrible after eating it. I feel a little bit energized because it's mostly real vegetables. But then if I go and get Mexican, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like such a piece of shit right now. Oh, I could just melt into the couch, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's not how you want to feel
Right.
after you've paid for a meal. It just adds insult to injury.
But it's still good Mexican food, and sometimes the journey is worth the destination. That's how I see it.
Fair play.
Yeah. So there's a couple people that I wanted to highlight in the news before we talk off everything and don't get to anything. And these are just people that have been doing things as we look at our terrible world. And these are quick. There was this woman as ICE was occupying the airport that was just walking around yelling shit at ICE agents. I'll play this for you a couple times if you want, but this is a woman at the airport talking to the ICE people.
Nazis don't belong in America, and they don't belong in airports.
Now, this is great because it's great, but it's also great because she is a little tiny brown woman. And the fact that she has the balls to do that and yell the truth at these assholes as she's in public as a little brown woman says everything to me. And then I started thinking about it, and I admire her no matter what. But I also wondered, who do you think is likely to get more roughed up if we're yelling that at ICE, me or her? If I'm a big white guy yelling that at ICE, are they more likely to clobber me or more likely to clobber her because she's a tiny brown woman? It's a new game, Wheel of Hate.
Okay. I feel like this is a really easy thing.
Okay.
If the ICE agents that you're giving shit to are men, then the man. If they're women, the woman.
Because then it's justified with their gender, like women can rough up women. That's the thought.
Well, there's less chance of things going awry. So if you look at the propensity for violent escalation or injury, there's more chance that the person would get hurt if it's a big burly man and a little woman. And the optics of it can look bad. But there's less chance of that happening if it's the other way around.
Yeah, I think you're right. I went through the process in my head and I thought, okay, probably I am more likely to get thumped on than she would be based on who she was yelling this at. It was big, dumb white guys. And I swear I bring it up every time. I don't understand how you can be anything other than lily white and be an ICE agent. I don't know how you sell out any of your own people if you are of Mexican or black or anything other than white heritage. You're such a fucking piece of shit sellout. It's amazing to me.
I think it also, whether or not you're going to get roughed up or arrested also is about your proximity to the people that you're giving shit to. So, for example, it sounds like she's pretty far away from whoever is recording her. And so it's a little bit like a chihuahua barking through a gate. Like if she's screaming it out while she's running through the metal detectors.
Right.
It's harder to intervene if you're an agent than if they're right up in your face. I think that would also be a determining factor.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And from what I remember, it was hard to tell because they had her on camera, then they panned over, and I think it was reasonably far. But then they also really could have gone after her if they wanted to. And then they said, oh, she's a little tiny brown woman. We're not going to do anything. And that's where I had the thought in my head of.
But then also, they don't care. They are not in Minnesota. They're in airports. They're getting to sip coffee and be in a temperature-controlled environment. Why are they going to work harder than they have to?
Yeah, and how do you feel about the ethics of once this is all over, allowing businesses to say, no, we are never going to hire you, and almost start a coalition of people that will say, no, you worked for ICE, you are identified as working for ICE, you will never work for these millions of businesses across this country. I feel pretty okay about that.
I feel okay with it. And I feel like there are going to be many people who've been charged with federal crimes who are going to face the same barriers to employment. And I think it's fair. And private businesses can choose whoever they want to hire.
And I also hear the argument made that, well, how far do you want to take it? Do you want to take away these people's lives? Do you need to ruin their lives for this? And the answer is yes, I do. They have been so dreadful and horrible to this country and violated so many people's civil rights that yes, I'm fine with taking away their life and making things very difficult for them. Maybe it means they have to live on food stamps that we will provide them because we will have a better society and allow for that. But I'm fine with not giving them the career they want. Fuck them. I've got a lot of anger.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm sort of less in that direction. I can really see how somebody might have joined and then been deployed to do things that they didn't believe in the same way that people might have joined the military and realized that they were lied to and then be forced into absolutely outrageous bullshit. And even if you have a job, it's not just about the job that you have, but the way that you perform your duties. And I don't think that every single ICE agent has been behaving in the highly publicized way. Not all of them were deployed to Minnesota. Not all of them are even working in the interior of the country. So I don't know, I'd want to be a little bit more discerning about whose lives we were choosing to ruin.
I enjoy your point and the hug in that point, but I would also say there is nothing preventing them from quitting their shitty job. At this point, if you have that job, you know exactly what your job promotes and exactly what your people do in your job. And if you keep that job, that's on you. And I think the difference is in the military, you can't quit that job, but there's that loophole that people in Congress got in trouble for pointing out that you can say, I believe that this act goes against the Constitution and I therefore am not going to do it. So the military has a way out. And I feel like if you're a member of ICE, you could quit your job. And I would work at McDonald's before I would work at ICE.
Yeah. I think that if you're just a single person, you have more choice on how you choose to spend your time.
Yeah. And I would think that if you quit your job at ICE and you go to find a new job and you tell them, I left ICE because I was not comfortable with things going on, I would think at that point you're going to have a lot of job offers coming your way.
So this is fun. Let's talk about job offers, because I've got a bunch of friends who, for many and varied reasons, have lost their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And while they're going out and they're looking for work, they're discovering that the market has changed and there's such a dearth of people looking for jobs that now they can't even get paid half the amount of money that they were earning before.
Supply and demand, too much competition.
Right.
Yeah.
But the impact of that is many people are looking at the job that they have going, I don't like this job, but I get benefits that I need for my family. Maybe I have a sick kid or I have a kid who, and this is a real one, I have a friend, I have multiple members of my family who have type 1 diabetes, and in this country, insulin is prohibitively expensive. And if you've got a job that gives you health insurance that can pay for your kid to stay alive.
That's almost better than the pay. I have considered that myself quite a few times.
Right. And that is more important than the pay. And it's not a good situation to be in. But as a parent, I mean, I would try to get another job, but I would literally suck the devil's dick if it meant that my son wasn't going to die.
Right.
And so I can always, this isn't the whole Emily looks on the bright side of life, but I can definitely see how people get caught up in jobs and then they feel like they have to stay because they're supporting a family. And there's lots of men who perform that role, and it's critically important to their families. And I really feel for those people out there, because not only is the job hard, but then betraying your values or sacrificing how you're perceived in the community must be hell.
But if you're a Hispanic parent and you are doing that job and you're seeing in the news other Hispanic kids being scooped up and pulled away from their parents, and you still keep that job, I think you suck.
Mm. Yeah, a lot of them work at the border. And before this was all, and we talk about this a lot, but the way that ICE is performing now is distinctly different to the way that they have in the past. This is a corruption of their charter and purpose for political reasons. Like this, and I'll just make myself upset if I get too crazy and political about it. But if they just did the job that they were supposed to do and stuck to that and just continued to do it the way that they were supposed to, they perform an important role.
Yeah, the job itself is important, but I can also tell you that when I worked in radio between here and Arizona, the border was not that far away. And in the community, there were quite a few border guards and people that worked for them and within prisons and stuff like that, and just on the border. And they were always the worst people. They were generally the meatheads and the idiots that were really aggressive and high tea. And they were always those guys. Even before any of this happened, that was the interpretation in the community and who they were and how they were thought of. So,
well, it's that Venn diagram, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of people who are attracted to those types of roles.
Like probably warm, understanding people are not necessarily going to be going after that. They're going to be doing other things that are hopefully more helpful to our world.
Exactly.
And once again, we've solved it all. God damn it, we're good. Here's another audio clip I want to play for you. And this is upcut. You have to listen to it at the beginning. You guys, when you post your social media, give a little bit of space at the beginning so it's not so upcut and it jumps. But this is the Big Liars that I discovered recently on Instagram. They go around fucking with people, and boy, I like it. They went to CPAC, which is the big conservative convention, and they handed out the Epstein files. They had those manila folders, and in each one was a different part of the Epstein files, and they kept giving it to all the hardcore Republicans that were there, and this is how things went for them.
Handing out Epstein files to people.
Oh, thank you.
Happy CPAC. Would you guys like an Epstein file? We're handing them out right now. You guys want one as well?
What is it?
They're Epstein files. Let's see which one you got. You never know what you're going to get. What is that?
my
It's like a
God.
drawing of a naked woman. What is it? Note that Donald Trump wrote to Jeffrey Epstein for his birthday. That's Donald Trump and Ghislaine Maxwell. He wished her well in 2020. Says, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Jeffrey Epstein. Says, nor will I. It's fake news? No, these are actually in the files. Well, okay. These were in the Epstein files. Says, you don't want to read it?
You don't want your propaganda. Go take it.
Okay.
And put it where the sun don't shine.
Where's that?
You know exactly where that is.
In the dark somewhere, under a car that's parked? Trying to hand them out, people won't take them. I don't know why Republicans don't want to take a look at the Epstein files with Donald Trump's name all over them.
It's the Big Liars on Instagram. They also did one that I didn't do the audio for, but it's them interviewing Greg Bongino, and he asks the question, and then as he asks the question, Greg is about 2 feet shorter than him, so he gets really down low as he holds the mic, and it's one of those things that you see and just laugh, and the best part of that is that Greg had no idea that he was doing it. He just answered the question, and it was about a 10-second interview, and then Greg walked off, and you should look that up and find it. Really great. The opposite of terrible people is John Cena.
Oh, he's a good egg, isn't he?
He is. I don't like wrestling, but he is the best guy ever. He was recently doing some kind of talk or presentation at a convention. He was on stage and they were taking questions, and a guy in the audience had a very particular question. This has been making the rounds. Have you seen this one?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, here's a guy talking to John Cena who's on stage. The guy's in the audience, and it's pretty heartwarming. You'll see how it goes.
I'm going through cancer, stage 4.
Okay.
And I just had a spinal fusion.
Okay.
And then I had a brain tumor.
Okay.
And you were the one to make me fight.
Okay.
And next week, I just found out I need more surgery.
Okay.
I wanted to know if I could hug you or see you.
Absolutely.
Puts down the mic, walks off stage in his Henry Rollins shorts, finds the guy, and they hug for about 15, 20 seconds and talk to each other and have this great moment. And it was just one of the coolest human moments ever.
It's nice.
You can hear him kind of talking, and then they took the picture right there. So that's the way you should be in life. You shouldn't be shooing off old people on a patio.
Yeah. If you were a Make-A-Wish kid, what would your Make-A-Wish be?
I don't know, but I can't help but feel Margot Robbie would be involved. Margot Robbie or Julie Newmar. She was my first crush as the original good Catwoman. What about you?
I'd never thought about it before. I don't have anything that I would want to do that involves celebrities or anything. I can't even think of one. My Make-A-Wish would be to do something with my family that is super radtastically awesome, that they would remember forever.
Yeah, and I joke about the Margot Robbie and Julie Newmar thing because I really don't have anything either. There's nothing with a celebrity that I'm like, oh, that would be great. If you could interview one person ever in the world, living or dead, there's a big question. Who would you want to interview? Does anybody come to mind?
Oh my goodness. That is such a big question.
Yeah.
And I know it's a very common question, so I probably should have thought about it until this point in time.
Sprung it on you.
Yeah, I haven't really. Someone like William Shakespeare. And the rationale for that would be such an innovator doing things that really tangibly impacted our culture, changed the way that we think about things, brought joy to people. I'm a big theatre nerd. And I suspect that he wasn't much chop. Like, I suspect that he probably isn't as awesome as what people think. I'd want to go back and interview these so-called greats because I feel like it's a game of telephone, and I suspect that after these people have died, they've been turned into these amazing people. And they're probably not that at all. And we've got all of these people sort of holding them up as this pinnacle of humanity and art and creativity and innovation. Probably not. Probably not. What?
probably got a lot of weird things happening. Maybe they're into bimbofication or something, and we never knew about that. And you're right. It's the same thing of somebody dying, and we say good things about them, even though they were terrible people. I guess when they're good people and they die, we blow it up even more. So,
How comfortable are you talking shit about dead people, though? Real talk. You good with it?
if it's accurate, yeah, I think so.
And I'm not talking celebrities. I'm talking like Bob, your neighbor.
If it's accurate, I think. Honestly, I talk about stuff that has happened here, and I talk about COVID, and I wanted to take care of my mom after my stepdad died. And at that point in conversation, people usually go, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I go, "It's okay. He was a terrible person." I literally say that to them, and that's kind of weird and throws them off. But that's accurate, and I kind of just feel like say things as they were and are.
I get that.
I think you probably want to be very nice and empathetic to people in those situations. And I don't want to piss them off. I just feel like, oh, I'm going to tell it like what it is.
I feel like I would not tell it like it is, but I also wouldn't bullshit. I would find it really hard to say, walk up to one of my neighbors who's, let's just say their husband's passed away and he's a fucking prick that I hated. Well, I don't hate anybody, but just for the purpose of the story, let's imagine that. I don't feel like I'd be able to say, sorry for your loss, but that guy was a fucking cunt. I mean, I
wouldn't go out of my way to say that. Maybe if it came up and pushed, I would say I didn't like him a lot.
Yeah, if somebody asks you, oh, were you guys close? No, I was as distant from that human as possible. I think that's different. But it is a little bit confronting if someone, one of their loved ones comes up to you and you're like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Not even in the ground.
I wouldn't do that. I
Fuck
wouldn't.
that guy.
I would be sensitive to them as a person. But yeah, given the opportunity and somebody like the stepdad, it's like, no, he was a terrible person. So,
So I read something the other day talking about that sort of changing perception of people after they die and yada, yada, yada. I read this story and I don't know the names of the people, so please forgive me because I would have liked to remember the name of the little girl. But this guy died and his family wrote a great eulogy for him and not a eulogy, obituary. There we go. An obituary for him and talked about how much he loved his daughter and they buried him next to the daughter. Great. However, he actually murdered his daughter.
well, now they can be together.
Right? And the mother, obviously quite upset
Yeah.
about that. But I think that is the most egregious example of whatever that phenomena is.
And he obviously didn't really want to acknowledge that, and it must have been in his will, and that's why it was honored, I would think.
I have no idea. But wouldn't a sane human being go, probably not a good idea?
Yeah. I would have to think that that was all legal and in writing, and that's why they did it that way. Maybe not. I could be wrong for sure. It's just so weird.
Who knows? Anyway, that's horrific.
Yeah. On the subject of people and interpreting them, Dave Grohl, he has been working on a new album and he's been in therapy lately. He says he's in therapy 6 days a week because he had a secret life and he was basically, everybody says, a serial cheater. He had an entire child that was a secret that he was funding and keeping apart from his wife and other kids. And he's doing therapy 6 days a week now as a way to work through that. I wonder at what point do I become a hypocrite for saying good for him? Because I like him and I thought he was okay and then saw him live and my mind was blown and I've been a huge fan ever since. But I see that and I want to be open and say, okay, he's working through the things, good for him. But honestly, if there was a shitty person like a Christy Nome or something that made that claim or an Erica Kirk, then I'm going to be like, fuck you, you're full of shit. You're doing this as a public display and I'm not going to be open to it. So I take those two things and I think, okay, maybe I'm wrong in that. Maybe I'm a bad hypocritical person for thinking about it that way.
Maybe. There's a Nietzsche quote, and I'm going to absolutely fucking butcher it, but it goes something along the lines of, if you kill a cockroach, you are a superhero. But if you kill a butterfly, you're evil. And the whole thing is that heroism or whatever has an aesthetic that goes with it. And so as humans, read into that what you will. But I think this is an example of that, right?
Yeah.
If Dave Grohl's the butterfly, then we want to give him more of that humanity and grace, whereas Kristi Noem is a cockroach.
Yeah. And I think maybe that's just really what it comes down to. He, even when he was doing all that stuff, was feeding homeless people in his community with a big barbecue that he bought and doing lots of stuff like that. And she was enslaving people and putting them in imprisonment camps. And
Yeah, and it is an uncomfortable reality that good people can do bad things. And they can do bad things knowing that they're bad things, and they can get themselves into bad situations and all that kind of stuff. The thing that made my eyes roll is, and this is unfair, but I was like, talk about rich people shit. Therapy, 6 days a week.
yeah, I had that thought too.
For the working schmuck.
Yeah. Even if that's only $125 an hour, the going rate, that's a ton of money.
Well, and it's not only the money, but it's also the time.
You're right.
Who can afford to spend that much time? That's like people who can, paint or meditate and have hobbies.
Right.
And stuff as well. Yeah, not Johnny Average, that's for sure. I'm very happy for him for acknowledging that. I'm really pleased that he's doing the work. I'll give him the old Donald Trump, I wish him the best.
A lot of people are saying he's a great guy. People are saying he's the best guy that nobody's ever seen before.
I feel sorry for his children.
Yeah. His daughter is super talented on her own. She just put out her own record. And the times she's sung with him and done stuff with him, it's like, wow, the acorn doesn't fall far from the tree. It's obviously genetic and probably upbringing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely genetic and probably upbringing. Speaking of genetics,
Yeah.
this is the most tenuous fucking segue of all time.
Go with it.
Do you remember how I was telling you and everybody that my eldest son had applied to that super big brain Barry school?
Yeah. And you put a promo video together and the whole thing.
Yeah. Has one of the lowest acceptance rates. It's literally one of the best schools in the country. It is the best school in our state. And he was accepted yesterday.
Very good. Good for you. Way to school your kid and work with your kid, Mom. I think a lot of it, if I can brag on you, was the editing skills that went into that video you put together. That was like a professional video that you put together. Good for you.
Thank you. It's all him. And we got an email yesterday at 1:52 p.m.
Yeah.
And it said an admissions decision will be published on the portal for Emily and Robert's son at 5 p.m. today.
So it's like the thing where you got to go to the school bulletin board and look at it, kind of.
Yes. And so we got the whole Jean-Claude Van family together, and we all crowded around here in the studio because I've got a massive double wide screen, and we all gathered around and we waited for the clock to strike 5 and for the view decision button to come up. And then the eldest son got to click on the button, and he clicked on the button, and then all this confetti goes all over the screen.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so great.
It was so great. And he was so happy and excited and overcome. He was just like applauding himself. He was like, yeah.
Cool.
And then gave me the biggest hug, and he just wouldn't let go. He was just like, he couldn't even say anything. He was so happy.
That is one of those moments that you will remember for the rest of your life, and one of the coolest things ever. That's great.
Yeah, it was really, really great. And of course, we're real in the moment people. So we didn't do anything like film the reaction. It's so funny. A lot of my friends, when I started texting them, they're like, show us the reaction video.
Oh.
It's like, there's no reaction video.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I don't think I would film that, and I don't know why it would bother me to film that. I don't think it would bother me. I just would never think to do it. It's just not a thing I
Exactly.
would do. Yeah.
Didn't even think to do it.
Yeah.
And then there's something that I wonder about, which is the behavior that happens if you know that you're being observed. You know, people who film everything, or if people know that they're being filmed, I suspect things become tinted and tainted with an air of performance,
Yep.
which I don't like. Kind of gives me the
Yeah, you
ick.
play it
I
up
know
for
we're
the
not supposed to
camera
say that on
and
the
it's,
show, but-
oh, I'm going to get a good reaction now for my socials. Yeah, yuck. It's everything I
Well,
don't
yeah,
like.
what is it going to do? Are we going to be like extra, oh my God? No, weird.
Reminds me of a show that is back on the air called The Comeback with Lisa Kudrow. It is so good. HBO Max, yeah, you can get it, or at least I got it for $2.99 a month. The Comeback is one of the best shows you will ever see. She plays a sitcom actress that is a has-been, and the first 2 seasons were like 10 years ago, and they just brought back season 3, and now she is in the modern world with social media and AI and all kinds of stuff going on. And it is hilarious, awkward, wonderful comedy that you should absolutely give a view. She's such an asshole in it, but she's an empathetic asshole that you can tell where she's coming from, and she's not a bad person. She's just an asshole trying to get through life. And it's great. The Comeback is so good.
I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah.
We are back on High Potential and The Pitt.
I like that. I like her so much. I like the
like
people
her.
on it. The writing bugs me on that.
It is a little bit.
It's very Scooby-Doo.
Naff.
And
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is Scooby-Doo.
if they could get around that, I would be okay. Scrubs is feeling that way to me too. The new Scrubs.
It's always been
yeah.
blink, blink.
Yeah, it's the original Family Guy cutaways and all of that. It doesn't feel as good as it used to, but that's just me.
Yeah, fair enough. Have you checked out The Pitt?
I started watching a few of The Pitt, and I like The Pitt. The Pitt is not something that, oh my God, I got to go watch that. But when I notice it, I'll go and watch it.
Fairy's nuts.
And by the way, I wanted to ask you, when you guys were finishing up that application, did you have the boy put a little extra thing in there that said, I also listened to Rush's 2112? Did you put that?
Different kid.
Oh, damn it. Because I thought that maybe
Yeah.
that could have tipped it over.
That could have tipped it over. But the one that likes the classic rock and is actually a Weezer fan is the baseball playing younger one.
I gotcha.
The eldest child, just for insight into his psyche, he likes really obscure bands. One of his favorite bands right now is Boa. He likes female-fronted shoegazer rock bands. Okay. So that's his shtick. Yeah, a bunch of those types of things. I can't even think. He likes a band called Duster. Anyway, it's not stuff that you'd be into.
It's going to be outdated at this point, but maybe he would like it. Mazzy Star. Tell him to check out Mazzy Star.
He knows Mazzy Star because I like them.
Yeah.
And Fade Into You is one of my karaoke songs.
I remember that. Very cool song.
Very cool song. But yes, and his latest thing that he has is a thing called a medieval sampler. You like a sampling kit, and it's all medieval sounds like monks singing and stuff. And he's doing all of these, creating these song mixes with like church bells and monks.
What was that group that had singing monks in pop radio 10 to 15 years ago? Oh, it was chanting monks, and it had this boom, boom, boom. Enigma. There's a group called Enigma that put out this Psalms something. I don't know. But Enigma was that group, and I feel okay, and it's not in my head anymore.
We should check that out. I didn't even realize. But yes.
All right. Well, this has been another fun, wonderful show.
Yay!
I like fun, wonderful shows. You're going to go off a week now and go do something. What are you doing again?
Oh, we're going to the beach.
They have beaches over there? I had no idea.
Yeah, we're driving interstate and we're going to Florida.
Well, you watch out for Florida, because I don't know if you've heard about Florida. There's things happening there that you don't even know.
Florida is off the chain. It is out of control. But, so this is the type of people that we are, okay? As you know, we're creatures of habit. But at exactly this time last year, we, on a whim, rented a house, a rental house in Florida. And we had such a fantastic time that halfway through the week, my husband and I were like, how nice would it be to come back here? And he's like, yeah. I said, I'm going to book it for exactly the same week again next year. I'm going to contact them, see that if they'll do us a deal, and then I'm going to book it. They did. So I did. And so we committed a full year in advance to go straight back there and do the exact same thing.
And you don't have to fly, so that's good.
Exactly.
That's really
and
a good way to go.
It's really, really good. And where we're staying, there's a little pond that the boys can fish in and a big field.
Hey, careful
where
with the fishing. Alligators, pond, alligators, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but it's in a manufactured type community.
But still, people put alligators in there.
Yeah.
I think.
Maybe they can learn to wrestle.
Yeah,
Maybe
they're not
they
going to
can
swim
wrestle
in there,
some
are they?
alligators. God, no.
Okay, good.
Ew.
You got to look out for that.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, they'll swim in the pool. My boys don't really like to swim in the ocean because of all the sand.
And sharks. We have sharks all over now here in Southern California. Big great white they've been tracking.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, massive great white just off the shore, swimming all over. It's because the waters are warm now. We fucked up the planet.
We say they're warm, but if you get in the Pacific Ocean, to me, it's always cold
Warm
versus
to
the
a
Atlantic,
shark.
which is warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you're going to be near Maitland, Florida, but if you're like near there and you have a flat tire or you're attacked by an alligator or you need a place to stay, let me know because I have friends there. They'll help you out. Come get you, free you from the jaws of an alligator.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that. Shout out to the mates in Maitland.
There you go.
The Maitland mates.
So we need to get back over here because,
Shut the hell away from me.
Everybody have a great one. We'll talk soon.
Peace out, Johnny Bravo.
Okay, you know how this goes. Like us, subscribe, tell your friends, write a nice review, engage with us. We're Total Babble on Instagram, on Facebook, on Threads, and on Blue Sky. Email is show@totalbabble.com. The Total Babble Podcast.